That is back to you, Dan.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Hopefully, we will get a lot done today and then be pretty close to being done with this time. Why don't we go ahead and do a roll call, Dustin, please?
Alrighty. Chair Primary Dan Young.
Present.
Second. Messing with me here. And then Roger Haringa said he wouldn't be available here today. Architect Primary Ning Wang. Not seeing them in the room today. Alternate Jacob Liddycoat.
I'm here, but I'm going to be dropping off a phone and switching to a computer, so you might see me blip off.
Okay, gotcha. Building Official Primary Quinn Tai. Not seeing them online. Alternate Ray Shipman. Not seeing them online. Fire Official Primary Ken Brulette.
Present.
Thank you. Cities and Counties Primary Hugo Sotelo.
Present.
Thank you. Home Builder, well, we got ex officio Mike Nykrom. Not here today. General Contractor Developer Primary Bill Mybush. Not seeing them online today. Going back, I see Quinn Tai has joined us.
Yep, I'm here now. Sorry about that.
No worries. And next, Fire Protection Engineer Primary Walker Danucci. Not seeing them online. For the alternate, Dave Cocott.
Present.
Thank you. For Fire Sprinkler Industry Primary, Sean Morgan. Not seeing them online today. For the alternate, Kevin Marr. Not seeing them either. For the general public subject matter expert primary, Samir Mokashi. Seeing them online. For the alternate, Seth Henderson.
Present.
Thank you. Fire alarm industry primary, David Mao.
Present.
Thank you. For the alternate, Zachary Tuck. Not seeing him online. And fire chief primary, Lance Dahl.
Here.
Thank you. All right, we're sitting at 9 seats represented and 7's required for this group. And we're good to do business.
Oh, Dustin.
Oh,
I
Ricky,
didn't-
that's you?
Yeah, I didn't hear my name called, so.
Oh, I have a blank at your name too, so I apologize. I skipped
Okay, no
over you.
problem.
So with that, we have 10 seats represented of our 7 needed.
Nice. All right. Do we have anybody, any guests on that want to introduce themselves?
Yes.
Go
My
ahead.
name is Karsten, and just so you know, I do have to leave in around 2 hours.
Okay.
A little over 2 hours.
And Karsten, your proposal went through the correlation group. I think we're just gonna rehash it real quick and we should be good. If you want, we could probably move that one to the front of our agenda.
Well, as long as it'll be done before around 2 hours pass.
Okay, well, if we're getting close and we haven't got there, could you please raise your hand and just let us know you might have to bounce off?
Yes, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right. So you have the agenda up so we can review it and approve it.
A comment on this one, agenda item number 9. I didn't get a document posted online last night. We were in the middle of the building code tag late in the afternoon and we just ran out of time. So for that one, I would like to potentially open it up for a comment, but we shouldn't take formal action on it. And we're planning on having a shorter meeting on Tuesday next week to run that agenda item full course to get to the committees. So that's my only comment on the agenda so far.
Okay.
Motion to approve the agenda with the amendment of removing number 9 till next week.
Second.
Thank you. All right. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right. Hearing none. Can we all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. So we'll go to item number 3, public comment on items not on the agenda. Does anybody have Any comments? All right, not hearing any or seeing any hands raised. We will go to item number 4. So
Alrighty.
take it away, Dustin.
Let me update my share. I'm gonna share a different screen. What this document that you see right here is the document I didn't get uploaded for agenda item number 9. This stuff here in yellow is the stuff remaining on our agenda. So the hope is we get through all that and we have green on all these. And then when we come back Tuesday, we're just gonna review this document, talk about anything that needs to be talked about, and move it to the committees. In between some of the stuff we're doing.
So
just
right
to-
now, Dustin, we still see
Ah.
the
Let's just do the agenda.
agenda.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I thought I pressed the final button and I didn't.
There we go. We got
Um,
red, or we got yellow and green. So that's what I think
Yeah.
what you wanted. All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
so this document is the spreadsheet we've been using and trying to update online. And so just in between the other agenda items today, I'm gonna be going back to this to update it so I can be as ready as possible to get this updated and uploaded for Tuesday's meeting next week. So just as I mess with that, just bear with me. And then let me pull up agenda item number 4, which is proposal number 091, revision 3. This one was heard at the correlation group last week, and there was a revision put forward there, but it hasn't been seen by this group yet. And so I'm pulling that up now. And Ken, you're the proponent on this one, and you weren't present there for this revision. And I'm pretty sure I sent it to you. Did you have time to review this at all?
Yeah, I have reviewed it and just got a couple of comments on it that, first, thank you everybody for meeting without me and trying to work on this. Jeff Shapiro did submit this to you, right?
Yes.
These are the revisions. So, and I'm been looking at this a couple different ways. And I guess one of the one of the issues that's still being worked out is the whole occupancy classifications for townhouses. And what he decided to propose is go ahead and just delete that 13D line that I had added in there, which is fine. And then under the R3 section, just put in make sure I'm in the right.
Yeah, he moved the subnote J from the 13D
He-
column over here to the type 5 construction
Yeah.
line.
So what I was hoping for is, and in the product I'm looking on my screen right now, is it would just be, and you got to tell me if it's the right way to do this or not. Is it cleaner to move forward without showing all of these changes? Because the proposal came in, we modified it, then we have another modification, but when it actually gets presented and moves forward, we're not going to show that this 13D got
No, I
deleted,
guess what I
right?
should be doing is what if that I do agree that not showing all the track changes in here would be
Exactly.
easier
Yeah.
for review. So let me pull up the reviewing pane and just accept all these changes that are in here, and we'll review it that way. Sorry, this takes me a little time here. I wish there was an accept all button in here, but I guess
There is if you go up to the accept at the top and it's click down on that, it accept all changes and stop tracking. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate learning that today. Accept all changes. Why is that not
And
done?
then, well, you just
Oh,
need to go up
comment,
into
sorry.
that, and then you just have to go up into the box and delete that entire line or underneath the non-sprinkle. Yeah.
There we
The
go.
box. Yeah. So the box in the table is the only other thing you would have to delete. If you just went up into that box into R2, go R2, and then
Okay.
see the entire box.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
Remove
yeah,
the
yeah.
line.
Exactly. Just delete that whole. There you go. Delete entire row. Ta-da.
There we go.
Okay. All right. So So then in the R3 section, he just has the footnote J that was added to the type 5B and took it away from where it was before next to the S13D. And just the footnote J had just been reworded and just says for 1 and 2 family dwellings and townhouses, number of stories above grade plane should be permitted to be increased to 4. So that would be the only footnote for that table. And then, so that was 504.4. Can you run back up to the 504.3? And under the R section has the 2 footnotes there also as J, and has the same language for 1 and 2 family dwelling towns. The height should be permitted to be increased to 60 feet. So just a correlation for the stories and the feet, which I'm fine with those 2 changes. And then I guess what was discussed in the meeting was the building code, the 713.4 section for fire resistive rating. So this was something that was added in, right? That wasn't in the,
Correct.
okay. So had a conversation with Ardell Jala, our Seattle building official this morning. I think she's also on the call today, and Micah, that do you have the 24 building code available?
I can
That you
pull
could
up
pull
the
up?
online version.
Yeah,
Hold on.
if you could pull up 712, so I'll wait till you get there.
The hot link, the 2024 model in here.
Yeah, we got to get you the building code. Yeah, we want
Oh,
the building
building
code.
code.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
want the building code. Why can't we get the state to buy you an enterprise account for
I
ITC?
think I'm interested in doing that. It is kind of my discretion at this point, and the more I deal with it, the more it seems appropriate.
About 712.
12.
Okay, so Ardell and Micah pointed out the 712.1.2 because we were looking at, how we were allowing this in Seattle in the past without worrying about the shafts being rated. And I believe this is the correct section, is unconcealed vertical openings totally with an individual residential dwelling unit, which we're talking about, and connecting to 4 stories or less shall be permitted. So that's where the shafts were not having to be rated. So, and hopefully I'm interpreting that the right way, but I don't think the exception number 2 is necessary in the 713.4 section, but I'm willing to listen to anybody else that has any comments on it.
Well, Ardell's unmuted if you'd like to go.
Nope, he covered it. That was it.
Okay. Well, there's no hands flying around, Ken.
Okay, so if that's true, then I don't think that I'm okay if that section just goes away, that 713.4 exception 2
Oh,
would
that's
not
in there,
necessarily be
kill it.
needed. Yeah, just get rid of that entire proposal, and then that will just clean it up to just adding a couple footnotes.
So you wouldn't need any of that section at all, Ken, correct?
Yeah, we would not, well, yeah, so 713, what he shows there in highlighting yellow is just a reprint of the base code right now. The only thing that Jeff was adding was an exception 2.
Okay.
So
So with that one gone, we kill the whole highlighted section.
exactly, because it's
Okay. And should have turned track changes off. There we go. So just adding some footnotes in here with some changes in the tables. And you like that one that way, Ken?
I believe it meets the intention of what the original code change proposal was. It was just trying to figure out where the best place to put it. I guess the only thing is go back up to the 903 section at the very beginning. The 903.2.8.1 that he has in there. Okay. Just want to make sure that's the right language there. Okay, so that is, want to make sure, is that the, because he doesn't show that, you don't, what happened is I think when you did something, it doesn't show it all underlined anymore.
Is
Let me
this
just
whole section and both of these supposed to be underlines?
I have to double check here.
Okay.
Something 903.281. Come on. Okay, 281. Okay, so what he's done. So I think the issue was he was looking at trying to add all that new language in there, but that
Mhm.
number is already being used. So it should just be a 903.2.8.4. So just change it to
Font in
the
right here.
proposal. Yeah, exactly. Just throw it in there. So it's separated out. And there you go. Okay, so I think that cleans up what Jeff proposed, and after our discussions this morning with Ardell and Micah on this code change proposal, and
Now I'm confused. So 903.281 would remain
yeah,
as currently written?
yes, because it's still base code language, which just allows for group R3s. It just says automatic sprinkler system installed in accordance with, NFPA 13 shall be permitting group R3 occupancies. So that can still change, that can still stay. That doesn't need to get deleted. And this is just a more descriptive one underneath ours for 1 and 2 family dwellings and townhouses. Or yeah, I mean, that's,
Quinn, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I feel like it's redundant. I mean, you already have R3. R3 already encompasses 1 and 2 family dwelling because it's up to 2 dwellings. So I think the intent is to add the townhouses. So why not just add townhouses under 8.1 rather than having a whole new subsection?
whatever you guys think is easiest. It does not matter to me.
Yeah, I would feel like it should stay under 8.1 and then just add and townhouses, if that's the intent of this proposal. So it should read group R3 and townhouses.
And then we should change the 1 and 2 family dwellings here as well in the end of the sentence.
Yeah, I would stick with the model language, and the only thing to add, if you're looking at the right-hand side, is just say permitted in group R3 and townhouse, or group R3 occupancies and townhouses. So just keep the model language, and the only thing you're adding is at the very end is and townhouses. I mean, that keeps it simple.
You like that one?
Yeah, I would just capitalize the word group before. in both of them to be consistent with the model code. And so you're going to have to show what's underlined, what we're adding. Or underline what we're adding. And so it'd be, yeah, the and townhouses. And then also the and in the title there before townhouses.
Looking nice.
And I'm also okay if this doesn't even have to be there too, if it just goes away. I think the tables address the concerns too, so it's.
Ardell?
Sorry, I missed the discussion in the last meeting on R2 townhouses. And I see that it's been stricken, but is that the decision of the committee then to assume that this only applies to R3s and townhouses within the, like, I guess that are considered R3s, or townhouses that are also R2s?
And I think that was what Jeff was and Micah have been discussing is there an occupancy classification? Does it fit R2? I think Jeff was arguing that they're not R2s. And it's one family dwelling, two family dwellings, and single family dwellings located in a townhouse building. So that's where I think the confusion lies right now. Because if you search townhouses, it's not listed anywhere under an occupancy classification. It's just listed in definitions. So I think that's where we got to come up and just make sure we're clear on this.
Micah?
Yeah, so I'm having, well, I know others maybe as well. That disagreements there. When you look at townhouse building or townhouse, it's defined. It's 3 units or more in a building. Townhouse unit is the individual single family. So if you're gonna do anything here or anything with that, you need to add unit to be specific to the unit, which could be classified as an R3. But if you're looking at classifying the entire building, it's an R2 because an R3 limits you to 2 dwelling units. And by definition, you can't have a townhouse with 2 dwelling units. It's got to be 3. And then in this section, I'm not even sure why this is necessary to add and townhouses here with the language on the screen. When you go to section 903.313, it already states townhouses. It states everything that NFPA 13D system can be installed in. And in that scenario, it also says just townhouses in the building itself. And that's, again, where some of this is all stemming from. I'm not against the proposal. I'm not sure where folks are saying that a townhouse, by definition, is an R3 when it's the townhouse unit by definition that is an R3. There are 2 different things. They are separated in not just the state code, but also the model code now. Thanks.
But I think it sounds like a relevant comment. Ken, are you okay with
Yeah, I'm fine with just getting rid of these 2 sections of the end, not even modifying these 2 sections.
So Micah, question back to you. You indicate that you think that this is a redundant language and it's covered elsewhere in 903. So we're not necessarily hindering ourselves by removing this proposal or this
Yes,
section of the proposal.
I think you were doing a good split screen and you could go back to that if you wanted, but the model code for 903.313 for the 2024 states, which was what you're pointing to in this modification here with the 903.313, just keep going this way down there. It states automatic sprinklers systems installed in 1 or 2 family, group R3, group R4, condition 1, and townhouses shall be permitted to be installed throughout in accordance with NFPA 13D. You already pointed to that section that says that you don't have to put townhouses under this scoping, in my opinion. Again,
No, it makes sense to me too. I agree. I be fine. I don't know why Jeff wanted to add that in. And so, yeah, I'm fine if you just delete it out of the proposal.
Okay. Dave?
That's,
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify the definition of townhouse within the IBC is a single family dwelling unit. It's not the building, it's a unit, so that's fine. But I agree that removing the townhouses is probably the best path of getting this corrected.
So just strike this section of this proposal.
Yeah.
Okay. Quinn?
I'm kind of neutral on it, but if I'm going to try to interpret Jeff's, not 2.8 is allowing, whereas 1.3 is how. So 2.8 is where it's provided, and then 1.3 is how you do it. So I think that's where he was coming. His angle was to these two subsections here. Why he wanted to put it in there was, this is where you're allowing it, and then the 1.3 is you install it per NFPA 13D. But again, I'm neutral.
Okay. Sounds like let's go ahead and remove this one. Bring that in there like that. And Ken, you happy with it?
yeah,
This way?
that's fine with me.
Anybody else have comments, questions? Seeing no hands. Oh, there's Micah.
I'm trying to get to the right screen. I apologize to get a hand up. And I apologize for questioning more on this. We are not modifying section 903.313 to specify that the 13D can be in the townhouse unit and not the townhouse building, or are we still sticking with townhouse building?
Can you scroll to that the section he's talking about, Dustin?
3.3.13.
Yes.
Okay. So that just says townhouses.
And that's as defined.
As defined, because it's got the
Definition is
italicized
townhouses is a single family unit.
a building that contains 3 or more attached townhouse units is a townhouse. Right?
I just read in the code.
Correct. Dave, are you looking at the 2024?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, the 2024.
I wasn't given all the codes, so I can only look at what I got.
There's free access, and of course there's no way to do chat on this Zoom, unfortunately. Dave, I'll email you the link.
Yeah, if that's what the 2024 says, I'm good with it. It's just that what I had from my history, I didn't have that information. That's the challenge of not having all the code to look at all the things we're doing.
Sure. It's Dustin's on there too if you did want to share the definition, but I'll send you a link, Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah, we're good. We're good.
yeah, and it was actually what admin 2-22 that Jeff Shapiro did that changed the definition to the code. This is to change that townhouse definition, and then added the new definition for townhouse unit, where a townhouse unit is a single family dwelling unit in a townhouse. So that extends from foundation to roof and that has a yard or public way on not less than 2 sides. So
Yeah, I'm just expressing my little frustration at how far behind we are with the model code.
So Micah, to make sure I understand this, you're proposing everywhere in 903 that it's currently referring to townhouse should be changed to townhouse unit because the definition changed, but the use of it in 903 didn't change.
If we want to allow these 13D, I think that's what I'm proposing for that 13D section. Is to specify that 13D is going to be allowed in the individual unit. And if I remember, Ken, you mentioned the same thing, like
Yeah.
this can apply to the unit and not necessarily the overall
And-
bill.
And the light bulb just went on, so thank you, Micah. Yes, I think that does make sense. To add on, to add unit.
So we need to add section 903.3.1.3 into this proposal.
Yeah, and just add the word unit and italicize it. Do we keep the townhouse and then say and townhouse unit, or I don't know.
So, Micah, are you saying like in common areas that are not within the units themselves, those would still be a 13R,
There,
right? Because if you're specifically calling out unit, and then what if you have the common areas? What do you do with the common areas?
Well,
what common areas do you have in a
so single-
townhouse that's ground to
Maybe
sky?
shared laundry rooms,
But no, it wouldn't be
corridors,
it would not be a
potentially.
townhouse.
yeah, it wouldn't be a townhouse because it's still a
Yeah.
single family dwelling unit.
So Ardell said the same thing. I had my mute on. I said exactly the same thing when she said it.
I'm
Yeah,
Dave's voice.
I was just thinking out loud.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good thought, but yeah.
And separate from this, thanks, Dave. I think you just pointed out a mistake in our WAC. We had originally adopted that townhouse definition and modified it for the WAC, but it's not in there for the 2021. I think that should have been a carryover. We may need to add that to our errata list for the state language. Anyway, side note, but thanks,
No,
Dave.
it's funny you mentioned that because I was looking up the WAC today, trying to find out where's that townhouse definition in and I didn't see it. And I was like, wait a minute, I thought we did it too.
You did. Yep.
Okay.
So great catch.
I trip into them.
And Ardell, did that answer your question? I don't think my intent was to do it in every section, but just this one, since we're being specific to this one section. And please, everyone, correct me if I'm off on that with the intent.
Sounds appropriate to me.
Okay, and so
Oh,
where it
I
says
think it needs to
townhouse,
change in the footnote though. That's the
Yeah,
other
no.
location.
Yep. Yep. I agree, Ardell, that we need to specify townhouse unit. So,
so in both of these sections, townhouses should change to townhouse unit.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. So both of those sections that you're showing there, yeah, instead of townhouses, it should just say townhouse unit. So you're just underlining units. And you probably got to fix your permitted spelling just so it looks good.
No, that's the way it's spelled now.
And then, yeah, so then in the footnotes and we write townhouse units in there. I think that makes more sense and narrows the scope. And that would be for that other footnote too.
Let me make sure I don't accidentally save this as the same one. Okay. And down here as well. Okay.
Does that make sense, Micah? Aye. I like the thumbs up. All right.
Okay. All right, this one looked good to everybody on the call?
I believe so. On my end.
All right, then I'll turn it over to Dan to ask what the tag would like to do.
Okay, so I think we're at a point, aren't we, for a vote or not a
Yes.
vote, but
A motion.
motion. There you go. Thank you. All right, do we have a motion?
I move we take this proposal, forward it to fund up to the building code council for adoption.
I'll
We have-
second that.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Micah,
You're
oh,
on
you're
mute.
muted.
I think we're having some afterthoughts here. Are we accurate in the table? Are we breaking the R2 townhouse still?
R2 townhouse has been
So-
removed.
So yeah, because we're only talking about townhouse units now.
Mhm.
So that's only what the footnote's good for.
Right.
Okay.
But
But the
I see what, but
building will still have an occupancy classification. And so I will be in conflict with the R2 table limitation of 5B. And I would not permit this on the building code side without a code modification request because R2 townhouse building is required to have a 13R or a full 13 to, and a 5B would only allow me to 3 stories. And in a 5B would only allow me, if you go down to the height,
so can we add the footnote, the same footnote next to the R2?
And you want it here next to R2 or next to the 5B?
Probably next to the 5B.
yeah.
Quinn, you have your hand up?
Yeah, do you think this is where Jeff was trying to add that 2.8 to avoid that confusion, Micah and Ardell? Because if we added that 2.8, that would clarify that no matter what occupancy, R2s or R3s, townhouses would be allowed to be 13Ds based on what Jeff was trying to do.
I'm on it.
You'd still need to get that footnote attached to the R2 table, though. I see what you're saying, Glenn.
So let's put the footnote next to the 3, like he's showing there,
And to the height.
and to the height, just to make sure we don't. Well, that height that's just an R, right?
Oh, is the height already there?
Yeah. Well,
But
no,
doesn't that, okay, so it's the full R, so the height's already
Yeah.
covered. I see what you're
so I think just adding that one more footnote on the other table helps it. And then, I mean, we still have another swing at this when it goes to public comment, right? So if we
So
need
that
to,
footnote would send you to the note. And can you show the note again, please, Dustin? Yeah. I think that gets you there.
And we have time to digest this, and if we screwed it up, fix it.
All right, so Dave, are you okay with the changes with your motion?
Yes,
Friendly amendment. Thanks, Dave.
All right, and then who was the second on that one?
Ricky.
Ricky, are you okay with that?
I am.
Okay. All right, any more discussion? All right, hearing none, we will go to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. All right, so Dustin, now we're gonna go to item number 5, looks like.
Yes, let me just update my note here real quick. All right. Next one is 071 revision number 2. At the correlation meeting, a revision was created for this one. And that opened up somewhere. Here it is. This one's another Ken Brulette proposal.
So that was all the way at the bottom, right? Was the revision under the 915.4.2.3 alarm notification? There you go. You had it.
Did I squeeze by it already?
Yeah, I don't know which way you're going now. It's
There it
toward, yeah, it's just before the, there you go. So this was brought up at the correlation meeting. I don't know what was brought up the last correlation meeting, if it was brought up again, but this was something that they helped reword for groupie occupancies and delete that. I thought they ended up deleting the second line. Yeah, there you go. Keep going. There you go, right there.
See here. Yeah, it is, I think they pulled out this line down here and the stuff shown in green is supposed to be to bring our existing state amendment into this section.
And I guess we're just here to make sure, since fire approved it, approved it with it, are we okay with just deleting it? Because they just, felt, and I agree that it was confusing and
Yeah, I was on the correlation meeting and this made sense, so I did vote for it to approve it. Recommend it.
so I'm guessing when you're showing this, Dustin, again for printing, or
Mhm.
you can just delete that entire second line because this was all underlined to begin with. So you don't even
Okay.
have to show that. There you go. Yeah.
There you go. And it's bounced around for me. Sorry, guys. There it is.
Mr. Chair, if there's no objections, I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I'd like to move this proposal to forward on as recommendation for approval.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Oh, it's,
Okay, Right, we have a motion and second. Any more discussion? Hearing none and seeing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. That just seemed too simple, Dustin. I don't know.
Well, let me see if I can mess it up.
No, don't. It's not a challenge, Dustin. Not a challenge. What's next then? The energy storage.
Let me just update that one. All right, now we're here to 117.
Hey, Dustin and Dan, just going really quickly. I was like in a hurry to read up on that code again. And since Micah's here, on that carbon monoxide one, where it's required for like sleeping rooms or bedrooms, should we also include sleeping lofts? Because I know that sleeping lofts was a big thing that we added. Does that make sense? What I'm asking?
Yeah, it does, and I didn't evaluate it, and I think this cycle we were moving away from the sleeping part of it. So I
If you go up a little bit, it does the. Let me see.
Yeah.
I had it on here. It was 9:15:24. And then 4.1. So basically where it's located in bedrooms or sleeping rooms, do we want to add sleeping lofts?
you're asking me, I would have to evaluate it, Quinn.
Okay.
I think if we're moving it forward, we can catch it at public comment.
Okay. Okay. I just want to bring that up. It just occurred to me.
Cool. Nice catch.
Okay. All right. So sounds like we'll just move on to the next one there, Dustin.
Okay. Making some notes here.
Yep.
All right. And then this one is Ken's again. This is 117 revision 1. So this one went to correlation group. We talked about it briefly, but no modifications were made. And so this is the same as we saw it the last time within this group. And so we recommended it for adoption, but we scheduled it for the correlation meeting anyway. So we already have a motion recommending what we have before us here today. So we can chat about it a little bit, but I don't think there's any need to actually make a motion on it.
Okay. Micah.
I just want to verify that section R330 is the correct section. If we're modifying this per Washington state language or an amendment, I'm trying to pull up the state code real fast, but I thought that was a different section. Sorry. Maybe I'm screwing it up.
Anything else on this one, Micah? You want to take some time to check that out, or? All right.
I'll catch other stuff at public comment if it's necessary, but I don't think it's an issue. Just want to make sure we got the correct number, and that may just be correlation stuff down the road.
And I think,
Correlation.
isn't the 24, oh, there it is, 24 residential code. I'll just double check. I got it right here, Micah. 330 is energy storage system, or 330. So
Okay.
for the 20, yeah, for the 24
I
code,
agree
that's the right one.
correct section for 2024 base code. but we relocate that currently, it is R328 of the WAC. So I want to make sure we're reading that correctly with the Washington code,
Oh,
because this is a Washington amendment.
I
That's
got it. I got it. So this is the code correlation committee.
Well, Micah, I think for our existing amendments report, we noted that there's new sections in the base code. And the intent is to move those sections that are Washington code to after the base code sections.
Okay, that'd be great. As long as we correlate, again, correlation committee, we just need to correlate the right sections. If we got a path forward after the fact, cool. Thanks.
All right, since we're not making any changes and we already have a motion from, what was it? It was on the 22nd of October to move this one forward. Mr. Chair, do you see any reason to make another motion on this?
No, I don't.
10-4. Then I'll close it out and we'll move on to agenda number 7, which is 119 revision 3. And I'm just going to change that back to green.
Hey, Dustin and Mr. Chair,
Yep.
really quickly, so I've been meeting with SEAC specifically on ESS storage, and a big thing that they're working on is making references to NFPA 855. Do we want to make a friendly modification to include 855 in that section?
Thought this is what this is all about. So what part are you talking about in the R330 section in the?
Well, yeah. So let me go back to that section where so ESS in R3 and R4 occupancies listed in habitable space in accordance with UL 9540 and NFPA 855. Just a quick and 855.
So let me back up. Are you talking about R330 section? Or are you talking about something in
The
chapter 12?
1207. I'm talking about 1207.
I'm sorry.
I'm just asking, do we want to make a friendly amendment to include 855? Because I don't think it doesn't seem like we're referencing 855 at all.
But no.
Which section would that be, Quinn?
1207.1.
Okay.
So so I was looking at under the exception. Where it says in accordance with UL 9540. Do we want to add NFPA 855? Because that's where FCAC is going with it, as well as SEAC for R3s.
Hugo, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that under the scope, it does mention NFPA 855 for the section under 1201.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're catching 855.
Yeah, it's in 1207.1.1. So if you scroll down just a little bit, Dustin, you'll see the right there.
Oh yeah, we are adding it. Okay.
And then Micah, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I see that you're adding it there, but I think Quinn is correct. If you go to the top under 1207.1 is the scoping language, and then you exempt if you scroll up just a little bit, Dustin. If you exempt R3 and R4 ESS from this section, you won't even get to 1207.1.1 to apply that standard. Is that what you're indicating, Quinn?
Yeah.
Be my understanding as well. So I think Quinn is saying that you want to have that in exception 1 also if these systems in R3 and R4s have to comply with NFPA 855. And I may be off, folks, so if I'm wrong there, speak up, don't be shy.
All right.
So I'm happy with that. I mean, to me, that's just a friendly amendment to this.
Okay. Hugo?
Yeah, I just want to clarify again, in 1201.1, under the scope for the chapter, says energy storage systems regulated by the section of 1207 shall comply with this chapter as appropriate and NFPA 855.
But the exception doesn't get you there, though. That's what I was trying to get at and what Micah is saying. Because once you get to the exception, you don't get to point one.
But anything under that section, even 1207, you still have to use the reference standards that's primarily identified.
I appreciate you going at that code, Dustin. What this is doing, and again, if I'm reading my interpretation here. We have the general 1207.1, the provisions of this section shall apply to ESS storage systems, period. Then you have an exception to that, which the R3s and R4s don't have to comply with this section. You'd stop right there. As long as those ESS comply with UL 99540, and Quinn is saying, and I think correctly, that they also have to apply with NFPA 855. You would not apply that because you wouldn't even get to 1207.1.1 because you are already out of this section. You're not required to comply with this section at all because it's an exception. So I see what you're saying, Hugo, but I do believe I'm going to agree with Quinn on this one, that if you're going to include this as a reference that applies, then it needs to correctly apply to the R3 and R4 ESS that aren't applicable to chapter to 1207. I'm maybe off, Quinn, but I think I agree with you.
Nope, you voiced my concerns there. And sorry, I'm a little sick right now, so my throat's a little off.
Okay, so to me then, if we're going to make a change, then we would have to have another motion, correct?
Or a modified motion. A modification to the motion, I should say. I don't believe that was, who did that one, Dave?
Well, this one we weren't going to have a motion because it was done in the last meeting. I don't remember who did that one. So I guess we could just go for another motion and move forward from there.
So since I made the amendment here, I'll make the motion that we approve this moving forward to State Building Code Council.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All
Dave.
right. All right. Thank you, Dave. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing no hands raised, we'll go to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Not hearing, motion passes.
Thanks for humoring me. I'm a little slow today.
It's all right. Okay, well, we'll try again, Dustin, for the pictogram one then.
So yeah, this is the same, I believe, the same version that was recommended for adoption in, I think, October or November. And then it went to the correlation group and was that someone's phone ringing?
Yeah, that was mine.
And I see Dustin talking, but I don't realize he knows he's on mute.
No, I don't. Thank you. So we heard this one at the October 29th meeting and recommended it for adoption, revision number 3, which is before us. We'd heard it at the correlation group November 19th, made no changes, and we're just back here to reaffirm our decision on the 29th. So if there's no desire to make any modifications, similar to 071, we wouldn't need a or I'm sorry, 117, we wouldn't need a motion to approve this one.
Okay.
Looks like
Okay.
there's no hands coming up, so are we good on this one, guys?
Well, we need to give Quinn a moment just in case.
Oh, come on. I'm good with
Shots
this.
fired.
Okay. All right. Just had to throw a little one in there at you, Quinn, but it sounds like we're all good, Dustin.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, now that you mentioned, just kidding.
Wait till Dustin's all done and then jump in.
That was
Yep,
the plan.
sounds perfect.
Okay. At least you're consistent today then.
Okay. There we go. Okay, that brings us to 062. And that is revision number 1. And let's see here. This is 2. So we heard this one at the correlation meeting. No modifications were made at that meeting. And I don't think that we have any specific motion on this one. And then IBC tag made a recommendation to adopt revision 1. And then we heard it on the 19th with no changes made to this revision. This one is from Jennifer Gilliland, and then looks like on behalf of the WABO. And so we have some WABO folks here, but I don't know if Jennifer's here.
No, she's on the SEAC meeting right now, but Micah's
Okay.
here to talk for her.
All right, Micah, is there anything we should know before we make a motion on this one?
To say I'm like Rich and Quinn are both on here, but we got Rich's hand up. Go for it, Rich.
You beat me to it, Micah. So Rich Williams. Yeah, we had brought this modification to the national level, and where it currently sits, what you see in front of you is what was adopted or is as modified. Obviously, we're waiting for public comment and final approval, but the idea behind this was to eliminate the reference to each landing, with the idea that the illumination levels apply at all treads, and by eliminating this reference to each landing, it kind of hopefully reduces the possible impact of a inspection where you're gonna be measuring at each and every tread and landing. We feel the language still makes clear that this illumination level applies across the whole stair flight. And it cleans up. There was some other stuff at the national level that was cleaned up further with our modifications. So anyway, we feel that this is a pretty good compromise in the language and gets us where we need to be.
Okay, so after that, do we have a motion then?
I guess since I'm representing Wobble, I'll motion to disapprove, approve this.
Okay.
To move it forward to Building Code Council.
That was an approval, not a disapproval, right?
Correct, approval.
Okay. All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Dave. With that, any discussion? All right, seeing none and hearing none, we will move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
I
Any opposed? Not hearing any, motion passes.
All right. With that one is recommended for adoption today. I have one more here. So the rest of our agenda, we have pretty much what's the document I have on screen here. I've got some updates to do to bring the most current revisions into line here so that everybody can see the different revisions as they go. The one thing that wasn't on our agenda today is number 084. We were looking for some further work on that, but I haven't seen a revision come back in from the work group. If it's amenable to the group, we could open up revision 1 and kind of talk about it here today. And then we, in our motion to approve the agenda item number 9, we weren't going to open up the whole package for discussion here today. And so what would the group like to do? We have some extra time at the moment.
And you're sure that you didn't get a second revision on that?
Let me double check. Who would I have received that one from?
You
From-
received
from
it from me too.
Okay, from Ken and Ricky.
I'm pretty sure.
Let me just double check, guys.
I gotta double. It was number
It's 084.
84. Okay. Yeah. No, I did not send it to you. So it would have been Ricky, Walker, David. I sent it to those 3 on 11/6.
Is it possible it went to the SBCC inbox?
I
It-
don't know.
It might have. I mean, I
Okay.
think I copied both of you. SPCC or SBCC. Let me see. I mean, I would like to get this done if we could.
Oh,
I
I have it right here.
Yeah.
So that's my bad. I got it on the 7th. So let me open it up and we can discuss this one. And I just remind anybody from the public here today, we're meeting again next Tuesday. I'll have this revision posted for digestion there as well. Okay, sorry for missing that, guys. And do you guys want to talk about the changes made at the work group?
Yeah, so this is my proposal, but I did have to lean on Ken and David pretty hard. I'm not that familiar with this stuff. So if you don't mind, Ken, speaking on this.
No, that's fine. So we went through and took looked at all the existing state amendments, and since we had a lot, and then had to go through this, renumbering things, deleting things that were no longer necessary because they were now in the base code language. And that's kind of what you're seeing here with some. And so if you start there at the definitions like you're showing there, is we did not need those first 4 definitions anymore in our state WAC because they're now in the model code. The public safety communication system, we added that definition in. The going down to the 510.1, I think we might have added in the S and the S in there. I'm just trying to figure out any of the other changes. So one of the changes is the 510.1.1, the radio frequency evaluation. So this was an item that was added in so people understood what needed to happen to evaluate the existing levels of communication coverage. And so it wasn't in the current code now. So it was more or less, this is what a radio frequency evaluation is. It wasn't never really discussed before. So it was being brought in here to make sure that people understand what a radio frequency evaluation is. So this is, again, something that's proposed for the 27 code that got through and approved, but we're just trying to bring it here like we did for all of our other 510 sections, try to get the latest and greatest in there. See if there's anything else that's signal strength and quality.
And
And
the
then you could-
510.4.1.1 that's reserved, is that in an existing WAC section?
Yeah, so that's where you're gonna have to, I don't know if you can do a side by side and showing the.
You see.
And I'm sorry, this has been like an entire month since I've looked at this, so.
So as far as this one, this just goes away and we just
Yeah,
retain the number?
because what's happened is the 510.4 section is being rewritten. If you look over on the right-hand side of your right screen there. So the 510.4.1 just says, hey, if the technical and design requirements are all going to be in accordance with this code in NFPA 1225, well, when the 510.4.1.1 in the WAC section, I don't know if you can pull up that WAC section again, was that minimum signal strength into the building. That's already outlined in 1225. So we don't need that section anymore.
Okay.
That's why it's reserved. And it's redone in the 510 also. It's specified again in 510.4.2.1 minimum strength into the building, where we do have some more specifics there. So some of the things got renumbered, relocated. Yeah, I just apologize for, it's kind of hard not to get, just all of a sudden my brain is just trying to remember all of the different changes here. And I can't remember, Ricky, did we clean up the explanation?
Oh, on the cover sheet paperwork? you
Yeah,
mean?
on the number 5.
We did. So
Yeah,
that's not how I had originally proposed it. So we did clean it up. Yeah.
okay. So yes, the explanation.
Ready. Does anybody have any questions for Ricky or Ken? I've not seen any hands. As far as this one goes, we didn't have it posted for public to digest today. So I would just say we'll include this as a specific item on Tuesday's agenda. Does that sound like a plan, Dan?
What time's Tuesday's meeting? Because Ricky and I have a Seattle Fire Code Advisory Board meeting from 1 to 3 on Tuesday.
Well, it's
From
it
2
was
to 4.
tentatively slotted from 1 to 4 with the Outlook holds that we sent out. As far as official notice of that, it hasn't gone out, so we do have room to shift it if it is workable for the group.
If you still had the same time, I don't know how many things you're gonna have on the agenda, but if you could put this at the last of the agenda, so then Ricky and I might be able to jump on it.
So as far as everything else that we got going for that agenda, let me bring over today's agenda. It would be just item number 9 plus this particular proposal. And I would hope to get this particular proposal before we deliberate the entire package to send off to the committee. So I'm not sure. Is it
Can we make
available
up,
for folks to go in the morning? Like I'm available in the morning. It's just hasn't been our status quo to do that.
do you think we can get those two banged out? I think we can, right? Both of those done in an hour?
I think I'm not sure. It depends on how much comment comes out. I don't think that the tag is going to necessarily have a lot of comment on the entire package going to the BFRW committee. There may be some public comment coming through. I don't have any indication that there's any contentious items in this package. But just because I don't know what they may want to comment on, I see that being the portion of the meeting that might take a little bit more time is just letting the public have that opportunity to comment before we recommend the package. It is likely though we could finish within an hour.
What time's your meeting, Ricky and Ken?
It's at 1 o'clock, 1 to 3. So that's, yeah, just keep your meeting. You have it from 2 to 4 right now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
So
1 to 4.
Ricky,
Okay.
I see it as, yeah, so our Seattle one's from 1 to 3. Yours is 2 to 4. And since I'm running the 1 to 3 meeting, I'll do everything I can to try to get it done in an hour.
Okay.
So that's what I'll try to do.
Okay.
So we can join.
Okay. Then if that sounds good to the group, that's all I have for our proposals for today. And I'll make sure to have a nice clean spreadsheet for everybody to look at here by the end of this week for that meeting next week.
Okay. Well, I think we're pretty much done. So the next meeting will be the 10th from 2 till 4.
Yep.
And we will hopefully finish up at that time.
I think we are primed to do so.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, that being the case, we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I
Thanks.
appreciate everybody's time. It's been a big lift for the groups to get to this point. So I appreciate everybody's time and input, and
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
we're doing it the good work.
All right. Well, thank you all.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.